And it should be ready now.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and then also good evening to here, Debra, and also 967459. Good evening. So those, yeah, who are also switch off, who are also switch off this video, who are in the. If you wish, yeah, you can switch on, yeah, video. It's up to you. Okay. Oh, Mr. John, Jonathan, Mr. Jonathan. Yeah.
do you want me to do the text on the screen as well?
야, 먼저 가르쳐지.
Mutune ma dona disar, vale. Shine
아,
shine mutune dona disar be.
아야, 디 다니엘로. Firstly, 당분간도 디시게. Firstly, 니 디당에 인지 갭셔게 갑도 랍셔라. 줄로 배저 운이 되시게가 되요라고 치더라고. 디스게 되시 야 접도 핑스. The firstly, let's do something the short meditation, okay? For mind to be concentration. Yeah, mind. And then let's do some breathing exercise or breathing meditation, what do you say? So till 21, okay? 21 times if you want to count, number of count, okay? For that, breathe in and out for that focus, okay? Let's start for that, okay? And try to fully attention and focus on the process of your breathing, inhale and exhale, both, okay? Until the, yeah, stop. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, started, yeah. Yeah. And then actually for the breathing meditation also we can they can be also add one thing, one add can be one thing. Of course, one is mind mostly, of course, focus on the breathe, right? The breathe, breathe movement, right? Process breathing in and out. And additional also, if people can do it also before that, first imagine His Holiness Dalai Lama, who is seated in front of you, before you, seated there. And then from his head, white color, shiny, white shiny color shining to you, right? And from his throat, red color. From his heart, blue color. These three color already shining there. First imagine before that. And then when you breathe in time, you feel like that. You are taking first white color, taking, right? Breathe in, breathe white color off, like smoke. Taking into your smoke, in your in your throat and breathing. Imagine from blessing. Taking in, and then out time, all your black color, black smoke going out. Second, red color. Take the breathe in as like red color. Imagine of the red color. Breathe in, out, black color. Third one is blue color. Take in and out, black color. Positive and negative. Ra, the negative sonata. The little genetic was. Ra, teach idea she did. The days called that. The not take a jawada yomare. Not, it is not direct connected to the tantric. But Chitani, Chiwone Yoka, because Lagiwa, Chiwone Yoka, Jimane Yoma, Ningane Yoma, Tugan Yomobuliva, and it Lame Ku Sung Tuki Chilap, Yoka number, Marble number, Mobu number, so young Rangi Tembe Bevache, Tengi Bevache, and tell the Rangi Lunga Yusungi, Nabuma to the Lunga Yusungi, Dictibiro, Diba, Matungi Bevache, Ra, some of the Shamana. They are kept some two additional tuba. Samlushara. Samludi, Mus Shevagal, Samludi, Yokabu, thank you, Sabash, Venabu Madu, some Mikpa Chibochigan, Samoshara, Chibochiana, Samludi Dikuran Chibodan, Mabu, Mobu to Nabu Martin Odur, with the relation Kabu, Marbu, Naposa, round chiche, Yan Kabu, Mabu, Nabu, round Nibache, Kabu, Mabu, round Subara, so some of those Tangazigi, Sachushina, Sujitama Chasawa. 사듀시는 유사지로 오늘 제도는 니야 캡상 퇴배로 캡상 퇴배 제투나다.
So if you're able to do practice like this, no, it's not directly connected to a tantric practice, but it is something that's often said in a variety of practices or a variety of texts, that you imagine or visualize the light coming from the Lama's crown, throat, and heart. From the crown, then the light comes in the white, in the aspect of the white light. From the throat comes in the aspect of red light, and from the heart comes in the aspect of blue light. And those, when we breathe them in, then those give us something extra in our breathing meditation practice. And what do they add? Well, what they add is an extra blessing. So it's the blessings of the Lama's body, speech, and mind. The white being the body, the red being the speech, and the blue being the mind. So when we do the breathing meditation, if we're able to add that visualization in, it's the same focal object, still the breath, but it adds this extra blessing. And so when you do a cycle of 3, with first breathing in white, breathing out black, breathing in red, breathing out black, breathing in blue, breathing out black, and you repeat that, well, if you do it 10 times, that gives you 30 round breathing meditation. If you do it 7 times, that's 21.
Oh yeah, dici that's the just the so chetunarda dici egg ro dici
This is an option if you're able to do it like this.
yeah, dan niba dici dici ani niba de da tanda dyuda da object zero mikba gomeg 아니 겨울을 보시시라 겨울을 보시시다 랑 집어지에 니 닌가 잠베야 주나 잠배야. 두갈 잠배야. 가슴에 잠배야 깔래 가무도나. 아니 디. 여러분 인간을 디와 이게 실리벌 디 삼단에 되고 디디 잠배양의 사베로. 어? 디 삼다. 아니 디체 아니 코나 이거사. 닝제다니 세베다니 그래서 아니 가져가서 캠베다니 여러 셰럽다니 캠베다니 니베다니 리숨 보벌 요하는 병원서 어디지 삼다 듀디스 오브젝트 소소 슈이 듀 지오라다 라마 호디 삼다 엔티니 나라라니 몽바 나라라니 코와나로 코데요레 코아베 심지지레 몽베 마리체레 대와드 동아 듀그메도 대와드 동아 듀그메디고라 동아 듀그메디니 동아를 제고도 동아를 타와라 아니 뉴모디게 빵고도 뉴모 빵와라 추라도 남지기 싫어도 계지 부슈리라 you know 추라도 남지기 싫어 티토니 배주당 토니 아니 뉴모 동아를 저거래 뉴모 빵거를 봐도 추라도 남지 싫어 배주마 당와라 동아를 줘야 탑시에요 말 impossible 라 뉴모는 초동말 동아를 초동말 면엄치부기 동아를 줘요 말에 저 쳐되면 나도 시럽기 바로도 침바 살도 시럽 배주당 거는 바로도 친구를 봐도 대배 바로도 침바도 좀 도움이다 대배 바로도 침바서 나옵니다. 배저거를 민을 시럽 닝보 개동바 몸 일이 좀 상말라 시럽기 바로도 침바서 나도 바로도 신세리 야수 고요 탈 바로도 침바서 이거라. 그래서 탈배 고만 쓰고 뒤 시럽 어디니 시럽이 계시 뭐 슈이디가 시럽 채워 시럽들라 계주만다 관서는 에스펙 퀄리티 만다 관서는 시럽 채워 시럽 셀와 시럽 뉴로와 시럽 사바스 시럽의 계주만다 시어 하고라 로키랑 그래서 대하고라 먼저 대면을요 이제는 무슨 대면을요 대단 시럽 채와 셀와 뉴로 사바스 계주시 뒤토바이나 아니 강해요 말 제 내가부터 더도 랑다 신기 된 탐지 약부지 죽거나 니기 약부지 죽거나 휴수거나 시럽 채와 시럽 셀와 시럽 뉴와 시럽 사바 시디 네바도 거 딩아주 아주 정말 시럽 네바디 여바 다디 공배다 공배 시럽 채외 네바디 가지고 여 네바디 여다 네바디 공배다 당이야 셀 네바디 가지고 여디 공배다 뉴로 네바디 여디 공배다 사베 네바디 여라 가지고 공배다 공배 디지털이 뒤는 잠배야 라마다 잠배야 뭐 이메도 세다고 코네 이거 좀 알아봐서 정리나 알아 알아봐서 사람들이 당
So the first visualization and in our meditation was described, and the second one is like this. So, and actually, the interpreter, as an interpreter, there was a mistake saying that the focal object is the same, being the breath. It's when he said it's the same, he meant it's the same that you continue to visualize His Holiness in front of you. That's the focal object. So you visualize His Holiness again. That's the same, but this time at His heart, visualize Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom, Manjushri, and then think about His Holiness being in the one nature with, or in the same nature. Maybe I mean, His Holiness is the nature of great compassion, and He is also the nature of knowledge or wisdom, and He has the so the quality in the nature of the quality of power or capacity. So those are three qualities that the Buddhists have, or the Lama has, which are knowledge, compassion, and power. And so those are represented by the what we call the three classes of the protectors. And so visualize His Holiness being in the nature of those three qualities. And then, so this is important because wisdom, we're all, living beings who have delusion and confusion, and we're in samsara, and we all want happiness. None of us want suffering, and we don't want suffering, but we want happiness. And that means we have to eliminate those things which create suffering, which are the afflictive emotions or destructive emotions. And those arise and to eliminate those, there's no other option but using our wisdoms. We have to develop this intelligence or wisdom which correctly differentiates objects, the wisdom that accurately and precisely differentiates phenomena. So to develop this wisdom, and together with this type of wisdom that we're talking about has four different qualities or sides to it. So what are the four sides of wisdom? There's the vast or say yeah, vast or extensive wisdom, so, clear wisdom, uh, sharp or quick-witted wisdom, and then the fourth one is profound wisdom or deep wisdom. So those four, we have the kind of seed or the potential for all of these within us already. We just have to grow them. We have to nurture them and grow them, and then we'll be able to eliminate our destructive emotions and actually achieve happiness. And so then we can visualize Manjushri in that way and recite the mantra Om Arapata Nati, which is the mantra of Manjushri. Oh, Gunla, I think the you got muted somehow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, now let's visualize image for Dalai Lama, and then either Manjushri or D, syllable D is his heart. Okay, which means Dalai Lama is the emanation of oneness, compassion, Avalokiteshvara, being compassion, and Manjushri. Lama Boji of Araba, 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 Indian Rabu, Italy, Kata, Hindi, Roto, Lodopo, Awaki, Sambo, Gerard, Chisels, Lodu, Choda, Humo, little Sarantabo, Pena, Pechasano, the Bay of Pena, and that was Logon Silva, Logon Ciel, Sierra Mena Metapa, Sierra, Logon Ciel, Sierra Mena Metapa, Yamlen Ciel, Sierra Mena Metapa, Tonga Yen, Sierra Mena Metapa, T.D. to that Dugo, Sierra Mena Metapa, Language to that Dugo, Sierra Mena Metapa, English to that Dugo, Sierra Mena Metapa, Yawa Dina, Yawa Chimi to that Dugo, Sierra Mena Metapa, Talbot, the country you go, Sierra Mena Metapa, 정말 이게 비인류가 같은데 전배양이 전배양 기도 한가 있나데 아니 전배양 스태츄 있나데 차 위험하라 배전한 거 배전 텍스트와 아마 텍스트 전배 차 위험하라 텍스트 차 위험하라 레티는 그 사실은 나이트 레벨 코스를 가르 컨코드 이거 차 위험하라 레티는 이 레티지 넘지 못하는 신 봐도 돼 예윤이가라 총이가
가지 총 이거를 비었대. 노 잡네. 나로 노 델은 노. 이게 같이 거잖아. 장규 수수 심규 두어 제발라. 그래서 최선 공수 시켜라. 유도. 아, 장규 비기도 됐다. 아니 현주 두어 제라. 최선 좀. 델은 시켜라. 아, 최선 공수 시켜라. 최선 좀 시켜라. 되게 하고 봐. 이제 전에 잘 가지나 보디. 어디 총 이거를 노요. 이 사유만을 빼자는 거야. 빼줘. 봐. 그다지. 제가 뒤기 전에 근데 상대 빼줘 송죠. 상이 송. 어떻게라? 로저 쳐. 로저 쳐면은 뒤지다 저 참여게니 그래서 되는다. 에키프. 뭐 그래서 마치니가 그다음에 뒤지다 치마 참여게 되다. 그래서 로저 상마 딱이 포지션이에요. 빼지는 상마. 사유만은 빼지는 랑기트, 싱기트, 시드를 끼워치면 틈을 그다음에 통화되나 무슨 뭐구나. 롭조다 냠레 정말 뒤는 숨쉬어. 그래. 자, 이만은 이만은 미치라.
di anjone di kabatis sapu gobe bendu
아니, 야,
어제
요소.
그냥
막 배웠어요.
매나 이야기 거기도
야, 오케이.
uh, so Ginla is talking about the importance of intelligence or wisdom, we can say either. So if, for instance, in order to study, there's no option but to use intelligence. If we want to practice spiritual path or dharma, there's no option but to use intelligence and wisdom. If we even want to do some business or go into some kind of do business deals or some kind of deal sales or business, we need also to use our intelligence. For accomplishing the goals of this lifetime, we need our intelligence. For accomplishing the goals of future lifetimes, we need intelligence. For accomplishing liberation and the omniscient consciousness, we also need to use wisdom and intelligence. To accomplish to have our success for our own purpose or our own needs, we need to use intelligence. And likewise, to be able to accomplish benefit for others and fulfill others' needs, we need to use intelligence. So anytime we see Manjushri depicted, whether in a tanka form or whether a statue, we always see Manjushri, who's holding in his right hand a sword and in his left hand a text. And the sword that he holds in his right hand, and for those of us who are here in person, we can see Manjushri behind, next to Tsongkhapa, and to the right of Tsongkhapa. So maybe no Tanka, but anyway, yeah. So there's a statue of Manjushri here, and the sword that he holds in his right hand is a double-edged sword. In other words, both of the sides are sharp. So this also indicates that it is that this intelligence accomplishes both one's own needs and fulfills one's own purposes, as well as fulfills others' purposes. And this intelligence, it comes in three stages, or there are three kind of aspects of developing it, and that's the intelligence from study or listening, and then from contemplation, and then the intelligence that comes from meditation. So in Tibetan we say Tusum Gom Sum, which is the wisdom of hearing, thinking, and meditating. So another way of saying it. Hearing, thinking, meditating, or study, contemplation, and meditation. So those are, again, we need all of those to accomplish any task. And the other hand, the left hand, Manjushri has this text, and so this text is what we have to study. So when we study the text, all these different the technique or the methods to accomplish all these different things that I've been saying, one's own purposes, the purposes of others, to have success for this life and a happy life in this life here, to have happiness in future lives. All of those, the methods to fulfill all of those things are in these texts. So that's why Manjushri is holding a text. And I forgot to say one thing that Vishela said in the previous section, previous comments, was when we look at the sutras, the Buddha's own teachings, and one of the main bodies of sutra is called the Prajna Paramita, which is the perfection of wisdom. So again, I mentioned, so it's we don't say the perfection of faith. So it indicates that we need to use wisdom. It's the perfection of wisdom, and by perfecting, and the actual word is paramita, which means having gone to the other side. So having gone to the other side means that by utilizing wisdom, relying on wisdom, then we can go to the other side of to nirvana.
And the share up you tang Sangi social and other Shibu Maiba, Jumzel Chebachini. Share up you tang shoroa. Tea, Jumzing to the Chebachini. Jumzing Carido, keeping Carido, Chela keeping Carido, Pula keeping Carido, Cheda Punigal Jumzing Heroa, Hasa, Chedam, Tadala keeping the Jumzing Carido, Magina Jong Carirando, Pula keeping Carido, Magina Jong Carirando, Nyanga Carido, Mondiki Canto Sotia, Jumzing, Tony, Roa. Di Nambesh the Unidira Hasa. Seribu doesn't Chibuchia, the way of scientific way of Hasa, thinking raw, scientific approach, Chibuchia, Seribu into Yamdo Drotungish. Hindu Seribu Yamdo Drotungish Chatbo raw. The individual di Hansero, the Gelontaka, Kenam, section Darwin, Sirsian to Lekpar Takla, Naika, Langwar Chaisa, Quishil means Lera, who some conjunct Janjero, the Hansero, the one but. Sangi Rangi Sung.
So then we have to also think about how to use wisdom and what we're using wisdom for. So we can use wisdom to again accomplish a variety of things, and we do that all by using reasoning, by using logic and reasoning, or establishing things through reasons. So we can use our wisdom in order to accomplish our goals in the short term as well as in the long term. And we can, and to develop wisdom, we also have to think about, use our wisdom to think about, okay, if we, do this certain action, then what is the benefit? If we don't do it, what is the, what will we lose? What will we gain if we do it? What will we lose? What will we lose if we don't do it? And so this is also because we're using reasoning for everything that we think about and do, and in developing our wisdom, we have to use reasons. This is also makes it so that the Buddhist path is in harmony with science, with modern science. It's really a very it's like kind of like the same approach to the thinking or to life, you could say. So it's the same approach as in science, and it's something that can go harmoniously together with science and scientific thinking. And this is made especially clear by a quotation from the Buddha himself, where he said a verse, "Oh, my followers, my followers, monks and scholars, please examine my words by burning, cutting, and rubbing, like burning, cutting, and rubbing gold, to assay it for purity. Do not just merely accept my words out of respect for me." And so here the Buddha is specifically saying, thoroughly analyze my words, thoroughly examine my words.
Yeah. Okay. If you go to the back topic, also 디 신의다 학원 딘조 간가 잠고 라마 송가 버치 뭐에 라마 송가 베기 시럽 배주 땅네 남주 시럽디 배주 땅네 맥시멈 웨이 이 맥시멈 배주 땅시 안디 이 강하다 냠용도는 송교라 그라 지금 남주 시럽 배주 땅원의天然 시기 수수 남주 시럽의 펠 권의 권의 펠기로 와 띵sab로 자체로 체로 세로 그라 세로 띵sab로 자체로 아니 심바치다 대난식이 남주시는 쳐봐야나 네 가서 쳐봐지 대난식이 냠뇨 사야지다 텔레바베 냠뇨 로아 고도 몽보 데 몽보 미셔바 디게 대난식이 지점 미셔라 비주다와 대난식이 몽보 미셔바 디 뇽뇽 로아 무슨 지점 로데 세스 치면은 나고 당내 매와 차이로 대난식 지금 지게로 말해 오 대난식 니마도 빼지는 시고로 시럽되는 미국에서 니마도 빼지는 시고로
So now we go back to the text that we've been discussing, the Great Treatise, and especially this section called the Serenity and Insight section. And there you can see also that the author, J. Rinpoche, Tsongkhapa, that he used his analytical wisdom, intelligence, in order to compose this text. And he was able to, over time, through using his wisdom, expand and grow his wisdom and grow it broader and broader and make it clearer and clearer. And he developed a lot of experience and awareness while he was developing his wisdom. And wisdom developed like this. It's like we can talk about the sun as an example. So the sun, the brighter it gets, or the more sun that there is, that things are exposed to, then the less darkness there is.
답변은 신의 다다 저런 뭐지 신의 곰당주 송고라 가서 신의 톱방을 뭐 신의 곰다 가리 곰구임에 라 가리 배준단 구임에 주소 가리 구구임에 신의 두발로 규도소 가리 구구임에 신의 톱나 케베 가리 신의 마톱나 경 가리 라 말해 아니 신의 두발라 가제 발제 가리 유메 뭐 니게 간가야 디주기 된다 디주 송주 대시 람드다 대시 탑주 디주 간가야 남주기 시라 배준다니 짠자로 중재 말해 실로 남주기 시라 배준다니 디 어즈마선 디 짠자로 중재 리저 짠자로 니주디게 샘심슈고 남샤 지단 낭배 취스도와 진 낭배 취 샘심슈고 남샤 코웨 남샤 코르웨 남샤 타르베 남샤 아니 탐지 케베 남샤 도기 남샤 응아기 남샤 디기 강가 남주 시라 배다니 세니 세베 코네 tumje ni janjaro tumje result janjaro ro 대화도 동알 로 대화도 동안 디기 강가 가래 이미 주가 남주 시라고 세는 니 janjaro 남샤도 대도고 남샤도 건가
So the text that Tsongkhapa wrote here about Shamatha or serenity has all these different sections in it, right? What is the method for meditating on serenity? What are the stages of attaining serenity? And what are the different causes and conditions that need to be gathered in order to properly meditate on it and develop serenity? What are the obstacles that can interrupt the accomplishment of serenity? All those things Tsongkhapa explains here. He had to use his wisdom and intelligence, the intelligence that makes proper analysis of things. He had to use that in order to compose this and understand all these topics in relation to serenity. And any type of theory or the description, explanation that we find within the Buddhist literature. So we have, for instance, the understanding of the mind and mental factors. There's theories about samsara and nirvana. And then we have the understanding of the omniscient consciousness, or the all-knowing mind of the Buddhas. And even just the kind of basic fundamental understanding of what is happiness and what is suffering. To understand any of those things, we have to use our intelligence and wisdom.
슈랍도 남지기 셰랍디 남주기 셰랍디 디기 중에 규레 디기 중에 규사와 남주기 셰랍레 동아주기 규사와 대 남주기 셰랍이 차고 남주기 셰랍 되는데 저 남주기 셰랍 위스덤 될 때네 다 니가 용어 디기 용의 규다 동아 용의 규 니가 지당 가져다 네 셈시고라 탐지 셈을 되는 중화레스 right? 대화도 동안 참 similar in go rela ora mind the sources mind is the sources being of sources mind nanglo nani within the mind nanglo zao har so share up 예 mind nanglo nani
동요 대화 네가 쉐어가 되는 중이래.
zao within the mind shebe nanglo ni da zao de 대화도 동안 yu zao de share up shebe nanglo shebe nang
So this wisdom or intelligence that makes analysis of phenomena, that discriminates phenomena, this is the root that gives rise to the root that is the source of all of our happiness. And it also is actually the root that gives rise to our suffering as well. So when we have another quotation or kind of a commonly referenced a quotation that the mind is everything arises in dependence on the mind. Everything arises from the mind, you can say. So
the 인들다 사무 레레 중 라오라 남베신 레레 중 그랬어 대화도 레레 중 그랬어 레게 싸워디 셔럽 통디야
So the kind of more accurate quotation from the Abhidharma Kosha is that everything arises from karma. So when we say karma, the root of that karma is this wisdom or intelligence. So when we say that everything comes from karma or everything comes from the mind, then what type of mind are we talking about? Or amongst all the different types of consciousness, different types of minds or mental factors, we're talking about wisdom at the root of all of that, and intelligence, wisdom slash intelligence.
그래 야 당아서 디죠 디인디 yes today Gishila talk a lot so about the wisdom right the mind wisdom or intelligence is the source of all everything good or bad Prajaparamita
Should I show the text, Kinma? Should I do the screen share?
Pecha
Oh, you did.
what do you mean
Yes, of the text.
알레 당아서 pecha 디치네 따오라 나다 디 pecha 기즈 pecha로나 당아서 가장 아주 참 거월에 대해서는
Liniba.
신의 그 초대 봐세더라 말해
So we've come to this section. So we have on the outline there F, I, and then A, relying on the preconditions for meditative serenity.
디네 디치 다 디치딩 아주 신의 그 초대 로게
Wait, how do I make it? I should change. Please go ahead. To do it over there.
당아서 다 가월에도 가자 디로와 텔라디니 신의 공부 출래더라 그래 subject 디인서 건다 알려 소소랍줄라 숨래더라 소소랍줄라 숨 how to train in each right how to train in each train to train in shine serenity and to train in lagdong right niche anything train in together sungdeche ta thangbo firstly social labsu said shine labsu shine gi cho temba right thangbo de shine gi cho temba redo te shine gi cho temba how to train in meditative serenities right 신의 초temba 아들 아디 신의 초temba에서 규조 신의 응시 두발라 규조 당부 규기 가르 참고면 여러와 차게 속세 다딜라 이 속세들하고 유견세고 유다 개인 속세죠라고 condition 온디라 온디
Just to comment on this title here, where it says preconditions for meditative serenity, the Tibetan word is a more general term, which is just tok, which kind of means collection. It can generally refer to a variety of collection, but here the translation reflects what it really means here, which is the causes and conditions needed for meditative serenity.
Yeah, rely on the preconditions for meditative serenity, right?
Yes.
다딜라 미니 카레도 당부 튠베 유난 네바 사자도와 튠베 유난 사자 신입사기 사자 곰잡사기 사자세고다 신입사기 곰잡으로 다 신입주발라 신입사 곰잡사기 신내세디 줍사기 사자 대사 봐 뭐디 치 튠게 낭기 튠게 니 수돔잖아다 니치 튠게 낭기 튠게 하다디 다문이 치 튠게니 시기도 치 튠게데 아니 대서 네 사자쇼라 소사데 엔다다 베레 카구심부 니 jensengi jigba meba la so ta tan de nge peje de lo bi de mo yu jigba meba nyenga meba so jigba meba so nyenga meba ro ani ya khagu sembo ye da jo beju de yuna ya de yuma ro mare o de da de o de zo de le yo ma shi o de ma bang shi le yo ge jo jo de ma yin ba ta ga de shi ni jo ba la ba je ma yin shi so de ta o de na bi la ge wa ga je ba je da ta shi chun yin ro o de ta ga de 답도 혼자시 고거라 수돔잖아 디레 다 딜라 투글레스 대 그스 말로나 디 알리게레.
Yeah, so again, that's just introducing the section, and there will be 6 different conditions described. We'll read through them, but just to kind of explain that, we can give a summary of all of these 6 by condensing them into just 2 basic categories of external conditions and then internal conditions. So, for example, the first one that we see on the screen here, dwelling in an appropriate area. So that's the place where you go to meditate on serenity. And there's these 5 attributes, so it has to have, specific qualities, things like, not being a dangerous place, for example, being a quiet place, just kind of common sense. If you're somewhere where there's lots of noise, that's going to disturb your meditation and distract you. So the idea here is that in order to accomplish serenity, then we need to have conditions such that obstacles don't arise. So that's what these preconditions are about. As we always say, to practice Dharma, to accomplish the goals of Dharma, then we have to be free of the contradictory conditions, the contradictory conditions which are obstacles, and then have all the conducive conditions.
Yeah, so
we can read through this text. So someone would someone like to volunteer to start reading from A here, this relying on the preconditions for meditative serenity?
Yeah, I can read it. I'll read it. Where is it? What page is that?
Well, in the book, you guys, I think every section's a little different. This is every version. This is 28 in his version. It is 28 in the electronic version too. Yeah, maybe it's the same.
So it's we're talking about how to train in meditative serenity. Is that what we're reading?
That's right. Yep. So the first few lines are all the outline, right? So you can start. Yeah, you can start with that. The I. Here we go. That's fine.
I is okay. Okay. All right. This section has 3 parts: relying on the preconditions for meditative serenity, how to cultivate serenity on that basis, the measure of successful cultivation of serenity. And A, relying on the preconditions for meditative serenity. At the outset, the yogi should rely on the preconditions for serenity, which make it possible to achieve serenity quickly and comfortably. There are 6. dwelling in an appropriate area. The area should have 5 attributes: easy access so that necessities such as food and clothing may be readily obtained. B, being a good place to live where there are no wild beasts, such as predators, no enemies, etc. C, being on a good piece of ground and that it does not breed sickness. D, offering good companionship insofar as your companions are ethically disciplined and like-minded. And E, being well situated in as much as there are not many people about in the day and little noise at night. Maitreya's ornament for the Mahayana Sutras states, the intelligent practice in a place which is accessible, is a good place to live, offers good ground and good companions, and has a requisite for comfortable yogic practice. Number 2, having little desire. You do not strongly crave.
Sir, 1 minute, Mr. John. 디 대인 딜라도 대 대버충을 디 딜라 거다. 남주 디자인 지고 말해. 딜 대버충 유도와. 디 대버충 딜라 거는 이 언zo 무슨 딜에. 오 언zo 무슨 대버충을 딜라 거다. 디 남주 just 대버디 대버디 지고 말. 디 딜라 거래. 언zo 무슨 세버충아 세바. 되세.
So Geshe-la is specifying or clarifying that when it says little desire here, in general, the word desire can connote just an aspiration for something, and it doesn't mean that we have to have low aspiration. It means crave, as it says in the translation here, strongly crave. So it means the craving desire, that we want to have little craving.
Less greedy, no more or less greedy.
Greedy, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm fortunate that I don't have any robes, not even a bathrobe, so I don't have to crave. I don't have to crave robes. Okay, I guess this is written at a time where the cultural norms were very different. Okay, being content. You were always content to have even the poorest robes. Okay, so. Let's say, I just would like to say that this is, totally antithetical to the current conditions we live in now, which are always promoting more and more consumption of products. So, like clothing and beauty products and adornments for the body and everything else. So. This is very much the opposite of the particular samsaric moment that we're in now, particularly with social media, which glorifies, material possessions, appearance, and so forth and so on. And also, this is what's kind of stressed in a society of consumption like the United States. Okay, anyway. 4, completely giving up many activities. You give up base activities such as buying and selling. Oh, that was just what I was talking about. You also abandon excessive socializing with householders and renunciates, as well as pursuits such as medicine and astrology. Pure ethical discipline. You do not violate precepts, doing deeds that are wrong by nature or wrong by prohibition, either in the case of vows of individual liberation or in the case of bodhisattva vows. If you do violate them through carelessness, you restore them promptly with regret and in accordance with the teaching. And 6, completely getting rid of thoughts of desire, etc. In the case of desire, contemplate their disadvantages in this lifetime, such as their leading to being killed or imprisoned, as well as their disadvantages for the future, such as leading to rebirth in miserable realms. Alternately, eliminate all thoughts of desire and such by meditating with the thought that everything in cyclic existence, pleasant or unpleasant, is ephemeral and impermanent. Since it is certain that I will shortly be separated from all these things, why should I crave them? I have explained these points according to the purport of Kamashila's 2nd stages of meditation, which you should learn more about them from Asanga's Sravaka levels. These 6 topics cover the key causes and conditions for newly developing good concentration, for maintaining an existing concentration without deterioration, and for heightening your concentration. In particular, the most important ones are good ethical discipline, seeing desires as disadvantageous, and dwelling in an appropriate area. Geshe Drum Don Ba, I guess that's Tibetan, I don't know how that's pronounced, but said, we think that the fault lies only in our personal instructions. As we then seek only personal instructions, we are unable to attain concentration. This is the result of not abiding under its conditions. The term conditions refers to the 6 explained above. Moreover, the first 4 perfections serve as preconditions for the 5th meditative stabilization. Kamashila's first stages of meditation states, you quickly accomplish serenity when you disregard the desire for possessions and such. Keep good ethical discipline, have a disposition to readily tolerate suffering, and joyously persevere. That being the case, sources such as the Sutra Unraveling the Untended Meaning teach that generosity and the other perfections are causes of the successively higher perfections. I guess I'll go into the next number. Atisha's lamp for the path to enlightenment, Bodhipattha Pradipa states, when you lack the elements of serenity, even if you meditate assiduously, you will not achieve concentration, even in the thousands of years. Okay, so that's pretty strong. You want me to continue, or is that good? How to cultivate serenity on that basis has 2 parts, preparation and actual practice.
There's one more paragraph there at the end. Last paragraph.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. You mean the preparation?
Before that, there's one paragraph you skipped over. Starting with therefore.
I think I read it, but therefore it is important for those who sincerely wish to achieve the concentrations of serenity and insight to work on the elements of or preconditions for serenity, such as the 13th, which are set forth in the Sanga's Sravaka levels. You want me to continue?
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, Sheila. This is on completely giving up many activities and like kind of what pursuits and activities to give up when pursuing concentration serenity. So it's interesting that it names pursuits such as medicine and astrology. What says that? Does it say that there are particular areas of study that are not conducive to the practice of serenity? And it's not like, oh, you should stay away from using medicine, but pursuing the study of medicine is not conducive to stabilizations. I was just kind of wondering on the abandoning of these pursuits, what the meaning is here.
저거 고쳐서 돼.
그것은 때문에 그것은就当可以受那个通天西本的，但不一定呢，当你们那样，引起了 giving up many activities 就，就教帮我去教专门的帮我呀，
저거 용수 방어세요.
教我用是帮我的，这张的那罗啦，哎你面当自己来多，面了真的你要帮我的是的。그래서 그래 뒤든다디 아니 로종기
저거 용수
로종 상만 방고래배 아니 맨카랑 방사나 맨 소리바 장야래 소리바 베이지당야래 간디 상만 방고래 아니 로종게 참샤고래배
영이하고 선들 캐주 저를 취 정도아 최초는 단다 취 니버의 숨어지 저거 용수 방어를 있어. 对吧? 아무 틈에 유는 내봐. 니버의 되바 총아세디로 less critique 숨어지 촉셔봐. 강 여버들 촉셔셔 satisfaction과 contentment. 시버디 저거 용수 방어서 들어도 저거 용수 어디 시버들이셔. 이 저어디라고 그러잖아. 다 뇨송. 是吧? 뇨송을 지시. 그래서 자원 예봐. 당근에 요소 직부만 요소 나와서 자원 예봐는 디직세. 아니 김바다라 주는도 하자 디시체와 양생에서 투께서 짜주만 올려와나 헬레버 콘센트레이션 메디테이션 콘센트레이션 6만 하고요. 세바데 양행 슈슈모 남행 샤워 슈슈모 도라. 남행 슈슈모 뉴모 폐기래. 뉴모 슈슈모 폐기는 되는 시간 남행 슈슈. 이 이걸로 자원만 보여서 봐. 찍디세. 아니 김바다라 주는도 하자 디시체와서 여러 양생에서 또 양소도 깨져먹고 시에서와 도이스도 디시 하자 디시 샤워 디시 아니 맨 제바도 세디 디레 맨 디레 저서 들어야지 맨기 내가 제바 아니 야 카르마시에서 돼뭐 사디니 뭐이나 야고이르 사디면서 남도 뭐 요아 미망을 뒤지게도 뭐 사디니 뭐 검냠리시는 야고요 말에 사디니 뭐 야고래들이 사다까말 된 이시 제시도 와 오늘 그 냠리시는 사다까말 따야 되는 말에 오늘 카르마시 와서 슬라스도 속 용서 빵와 어디
네, 제가 로종 사무샤고를 베스 티켓을 뒤서.
로션 삼사고 계좌 말에 나는 로션 냅둬
so
이 옵션인데 메인 옵션도 와. 이걸 메인 옵션 3샤워. 옵션 시작한 3샤워. 메인 옵션 찍고 말해. 신이 뭔데가 삼로디 미고 찌지가 내고로 와. 내가 저기 신의 냠린테다 제와 메조 태가 제와 메조 신다리 내가 3샤는 야.
so he
자사 뭔데 세우디.
so Geshila explained again just what's in this paragraph or this sentence. So you give up many activities, you fully, completely give up many activities. So things such as buying and selling and business, and then abandoning excessive socializing with anybody, with householders or renunciates, anybody. And so the reason for that is because when you have too much, when you have lots of conversation with people constantly, then you get distracted, and you'll get distracted because various afflictive emotions will arise, afflictions arise, and that will cause distraction. Now, when it says medicine and astrology, so right, so it'd be, astrology would be sometimes people think, oh, depending on the, whatever the astrological sign or the different days, then today is a good day for meditation and tomorrow is not a good day for meditation or something like that. So if you're really a practitioner, really practicing, then you have to ignore all those things. Those are not important, and so you don't think of astrology or practice astrology like that. And then for medicine, right? Well, so really, when you're really trying to develop concentration, so serenity, single-pointed concentration, then anything that is not directly related to the development of serenity, then for the time being, while you're really pursuing this practice, accomplishing this practice, then it's better if you can put down any other topic, including medicine or other studies that you've been doing.
Well, I mean, but you're talking about like ideal conditions, which really don't. First of all, this was written in the 10th century or something like that, the 11th century, and conditions were very different. So if I didn't engage in some kind of activity, I wouldn't be able to buy food, and buy. I mean, it's not like buying and selling, although I did look at the market today. But the point is, you have to, somehow be able to live in the world, and then, have a separate kind of area where you can, even even a meditation room or some sacred space where you could enter and then drop the cares of the world and then enter into your contemplative experience. But in terms of a practical, this was originally probably written for monasteries, correct? I mean, Tsongkhapa was an abbot of a monastery, so it was written for monks in a monastery. But I mean, if you're living in the practical world, then you have to deal with the realities of the practical world.
Mr. John, just sir, 1 minute. I think 이디라고 하다. 신이 신이 두베라 신랭이 냠레스 거다 신이 운에게다 seriously 시다 serious person 냠리 첸데요나 되어라 내가 고츠고셔 차와 고츠음니 유 tum제 마도 마도라 내가 차와 신다 상부 약보들이는 내가 도 삼셔나 약을 딩우니스레 지다 신다 롭죠 신다 제도 약보래 고르 미스나 롭죠 봐 라나 펜도 신라 펜도 이니 텐다 값수 파바디 신이 두베 값들라 디게디 제바이나 빠라 지기지 제바나 디기 튠베 펜도에서 디기 느기 발제고다 발제
So
for example 라 답변은 세고 내면로서 보디즈이나 신이 두발로 튠기니 맨나 메다로 딱 전다 도도 가르스나 자와 신이 두베링라 냠리 제베링들라 고즈는 주고 맞대 받으라 아니 신이 두발로 차기 맨나 메답데 내가 마치라지 되네 있는 이주 가로와 신이 두발 차기 고고리데 necessary 쇼라 돼 딘소달라 삼로마다난다레 삼로 땅고레 고레 차기 두고레 배전 셔오데 데미션하게 자와 상보 약보 가리 이내야 신이 두베가로 예버도 고고 맹해드네 여러 고고 많이 신이 두발 고고 맹해돼서 내가 참셔나 약을 뭐니 전다 도도들 가르스나 신이 무시 챌린지 소 가르스나 징화도 고반이들 봐 그래 말해 징화 고바스나 가는 남이로 심 봐 넘버 2 왔어도 자와신다 상부들이 야고 여바이네야 그야 남행 그 남행 끼치고 남행 유긴 치고 신이 주변에 그야 인터넷 발제치고 발제 뒤인도 친구니 어디서 쏘들다
the point of this fourth item in the preconditions is really for someone who's really serious about completing the practice of serenity and really, making a commitment to take some specific set time to accomplish serenity. So it means during that period of time, then even if there's, some really wonderful action, no matter how positive or good an action is, at that time of accomplishing serenity, then it's better to put that aside. So of course, various fields of study are going to be very valuable and benefit yourself as well as help you to benefit others, but not while you're trying to accomplish serenity. So while you're doing the serenity, and that for that period of time, then the advice here is to give up those other activities. And of course, there are certain things that you do just need to survive, food and clothing, for instance, or a place to stay. So for those things, okay, sometimes you'll have to think about how to acquire those, and yes, that's something you'll have to do to survive. So for those things, then there's not really any choice. There's no option. But anything else that's not really absolutely necessary to do the practice of serenity, then the advice here is to put those aside while you're accomplishing serenity. And the basic reason for that is because what is the main challenge when we're trying to complete or accomplish serenity? It is these two obstacles of laxity and excitement. And what is excitement? Excitement is a type of distraction. So the more activities that we are involved in, then we start to think about all different types of things, and that is distraction for our main focal object of the meditation.
찍디레 니버들 돼 그스님에게 저하시다 상부들이 put aside 마샤와체 디님도 지기지 쳐왔나 초전에 신이 두벨라 발제 지기래라 아니 고래 두세 망한 고르래 남이 용구래라 두세 망한 고르래 accomplish 요소서 미유저라 미유도 걸 신이 두벨더라 제 말에 대 강조조 야가 두고 미유하고 미유디 강조조 야고시 두고고이나 내가 신다 자와 상부이 신다도 자원 년마다 가와 자원 년마다 배빵고 자와 상부를 이제 내가 put aside 내가 그렇게 참샤네 제라 제마 봐 신이 두서 죽을라 봐 아니 마음 봐 어디 삼다 쉐르 뭐 시되면은 그래네 신이 두배 갈래 셈라 루즈 그사 셈 세직 비팅에서 두배라 바제시기라 유망하고 그래 바지로 간다 티기다 간다 가게 바제시하고
So the second point about this is for someone when you're really ready to, or is committed to accomplish serenity, if you don't for that period of time, put down other activities, then it will just take longer to accomplish your goal, to achieve the serenity. So that's why it becomes an obstacle. So even if it's generally something very positive, of course, after you actually accomplish serenity, then you can go back and start it up again and do those things. But during the actual practice of serenity, while you're trying to accomplish it, then they will become obstacles and cause the practice to just take longer. It will prolong your effort to accomplish serenity and cause distraction. So this is the idea behind this this precondition of giving up many activities.
되네. 디인디 딘수 송교 단다디 캐주 총시도 캐주 총시도 저 총도 디게 상마야 망차와 많이 봐 용차와 많이 봐 하나 송이 잠고라면 종가 봐체다 아니 까말라 시라 고브린 바바다 아니 단다 아디샤도 자주 남려다 또 안디야 고불도 상맥이 코라서 냠용토리 수 딘상마 캐주 두개가 코라서 상맥 냠용도는 수요 짱짱사 냠용토 디게 상마
So having these
딘상마 쳐바자냐 말다 쳐바 제조가 가지고서나 쳐바들이 키는 말에 랑이 냠뇨들 간주와 되게 상마 세워질 수 있게 아니라 캐주 두디.
So having these 6 qualities or 6 conditions here, this is really something that Tsongkhapa has written out of his own personal experience. Likewise, those whose treatises he's relied on, Kamalashila, and then also Asanga and Atisha, those previous masters, they decided that these really were the 6 necessary conditions. They're not it's not too many, it's not too few, it's just exactly what's needed they've determined through their own experience to that these 6 are needed. So it's not this particular topic isn't really something that's a topic for debate, but it's something that has been arrived at through their personal experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it must do it.
So shall we keep going down through the text? So maybe another reader?
Yeah, I could read.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I'll read to the next. So I'll read to the meditative process. It's like a page. So, okay. How to cultivate serenity on that basis. This has 2 parts. 1, preparation, and 2, actual practice. 1, preparation. Practice the 6 preparatory teachings explained above, and especially cultivate the spirit of enlightenment for a long time. Also, in support of that, you should do the meditative practices that are shared with the persons of small and medium capacities. 2, actual practice. This has 2 parts. 1, meditative posture, and 2, the meditative process itself. A, meditative posture. Kamashila's second and third stages of meditation say that you should take up an 8-point meditation, 8-point posture on a very soft and comfortable seat. First, cross your legs in the manner of the Venerable Vairochana, using either the full lotus posture or the half lotus posture as appropriate. 2, your eyes should be neither wide open nor too far closed, and they should be fixed on the tip of your nose. 3, sit with your awareness directed inward, keeping your body straight without leaning too far back or being bent too far forward. 4, keep your shoulders straight and even. 5, do not raise or lower your head, nor turn it to one side. Set it so that your nose and navel are aligned. 6, set your teeth and lips in their usual natural positions. 7, draw your tongue up close to your upper teeth. 8, your inhalation and exhalation should not be noisy, forced, or uneven. Let it flow effortlessly, ever so gently, without any sense that you are moving it here or there.
1 second, pause 1 second. So uk chinangdo tang la sto uk ni chinangdo yo dajin da se de dajin na yo ke chao de ma yin ba. dajin wo din de ma yin ba. yang ngam ba. yang go ba chin do mi dang ke se uk sop so che ke shi da me wa shi. 그래 도 yang shuk shung bu ya lemda ya teo ma ya ma lu shuk shung lemda lo ma bu sop so che da me ba. ta ga da pa ta ba ba. So uk ti ri do 친한도 요와 자젠다 남바도 고바진도 미당기자 신이장 펄주수주를 미소와 아뷰 다뷰 매바 주고 대와 차오 그래도 매술 락벌 되먹고 우소소소소소 naturally naturally 거다 요들이 간 삼로도 마샤고 우당당
So Krishna is reiterating this eighth point about the breath. So a breath, your inhalation and exhalation is some let it be so that you don't make any noise or make any extra effort to breathe in a certain manner. Instead, just allow the breath to be soft and gentle without making any special effort. So let it flow. And yeah, so that's for the breathing instruction.
Because I have a further question on this point. So should there be no attempt to control the breath in any manner? Say, for instance, where you're breathing from, right? Like, sometimes you can breathe kind of shallowly, like through the throat, through the chest, or you can breathe through your stomach, like into your navel. Should you not be trying to, say, control the depth of the breath even? And just kind of let it breathe however it's going to breathe.
그래서 알레 제장 우동에 디 저저 주보 나로라 다 우중에 내요 야메나 미버체 야메나 조코치 야메나 그래서 방코치 야메나 조코치 대저야 저저 우 소랜도 가나 아니 대저 다 점점 우 퉁퉁퉁퉁지 요리 점점 우르보 차이래 아니 대저 참마다 돈은 맞네 당진 제마고 버치 다라 저저 넌넌 rushing shower base.
뭐 디레도 매번
So yes, it says effortlessly, right?
원데 니고 빼는데 돼 우디니 우라 로와니 고라 그래서 우기서 싸워도 로와라 기라고라 로와라 랑로와리 랑니 야 용디 코라는 삼로 디가 조고 고라 얘는 라오면 와 로와니 우유 고라 인디 미바디 소디가 조고라 야 레소 삼바시 그라 그래서 야 텐소 삼바시 아니 마도소 삼바시 So
yeah, so without any effort, there's no need to make any conscious effort or attempt to do anything, and then just focus on the breathing and let it come out and make that your observation, your object of observation, seeing that the breath has come out, and then observing as the breath comes into your lung and then as it goes out. Just like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, continues.
I'll continue. Okay. Asanga's Shravaka levels gives 5 reasons for sitting as the Buddha taught, cross-legged on a seat, stool, or grass mat. 1. This posture in which the body is pulled together well is conducive to the arising of pliancy, so you will develop pliancy very quickly. 2. Sitting in this way makes it possible to maintain the posture for a long time. The posture does not lead to physical exhaustion. 3. This posture is not common to non-Buddhists or our opponents. 4. When others see you sitting in this posture, they are inspired. 5. The Buddha and his disciples used this posture and bestowed it upon us. Asanga's Shravaka levels says that in light of these reasons, you should sit cross-legged. It also says that you keep your body straight so that lethargy and sleepiness will not occur. Thus, at the outset, you have to meet these 8 points of physical conduct, particularly the calming of breathing, just as I have described above.
사소. Breathing just as I have described above like that.
Yes.
So that's the meditative process next time shige.
그래, isso chegando. Eu mean, eu mena muito de jogo, eu mean, again, Joshi guy, go ahead.
니 상태 다 들이 참샤 봐. 그래.
Stop.
아니, 땅이 디슬랍도 쇼페나. 근데 네가 breathing 페나 우당당스도아. 당부 아주 상만 가라서 내 당부 왔어요라. 봐. 우당에다 류부데 우부 류부 우당당나 류부 페나데 셜람트데 케주 듄게 시에도 페나 되도 류부 당부 되고요. 뽕받아서 당부 가는 거죠. 뒤서 상마 상마시. first time 당부 내 당부 가지고 뭐 좀 가라. 뒤서 상마시 야고 용만해. 찍디는 찍마 디게도 요아. 찍디는 찍마도 청이 상마 상마 균념도 용통 말해. 디마용 좀실 때는 나서 심슈샤 유에 요만와. 로아. 당부 갑라 당부 고수디 갔습니다. 고수디가 지기야 니셰베 갈라 르뷰 대당 차니 이나래 아니 우 땅땅 차니 이나래 삼르드 셰베 갈라니 들라 바르제 망부 강에 망부 용구래 상마사 양탁보다 논주 망부 용구래 논주 망부 용구래 디개 요 말에 논주 용은 약보르다도 논주 용와데 하구구구를 아니 이야기 단계 된 요아 교 세기 논주 디기 갈리갈리 바 매와 세기 아니 이야기도 와 이야기도 와 말해 우디 인디고라 당기도 그 저번 땅서 우 브리드 데 디나로 땅 고멜레스도 우디주 단주고 하다라 당부 first time 레 당부 와라 디기라 망부 용구래 디마디 망부 용구래 디케고 말 이네 도 대기 갈리 니마치 이제 지 니마니 도 갈리 대베냠 도 대기 냠유 사와사기시 수술 하고 self awareness civilize 하고 그거 아니 이야기도 어쩌주시면 요아 겁나 라와 미교에 너에 가야 요만세 좋아 콤바도 검지된 거라고 검지 당보 검기 신의 검기 내 하도에 가이네 신의 검바다고 르뷰 젤람 되다 르뷰 젤람 되다 아니 우당다 난 삼류기 되다 시퉁이다 아니 이 디상월로 검지된 거라 검지 땡이 땡 아니 야게 도기 자기 야로 도고 아니 야야 도 어디 저단들 어디 인디발라 데주카가 칼리 두고 디드웨시
So Geshe-la is saying that this is for people who are starting out, beginners like us. As beginners, we think about these different conditions or the 8 aspects of the posture and things like the way to breathe and the way to hold your body, these 8 conditions. So for someone just starting out as a beginner, these aren't all going to be, totally satisfied together at once, just from the beginning. That it's not going to happen. In other words, when we begin, we're going to have some, in the posture of our body, there's going to be some mistake or not exactly right according to these instructions. But that's perfectly fine. It's actually better if there are mistakes, because then as we continue to practice, as we continue to sit, we'll gain experience, and over time we'll become aware of how our body is sitting and what our posture is like, and then we'll gradually be able to reduce those mistakes or clear away those mistakes in our posture. And the same is actually true for all the different aspects of the practice that we've talked about. So even those conditions, the preconditions for practice, the more experience that we gain, then we'll be able to do better and better and improve our practice, to improve the quality of our practice. Because why? Well, because this all depends on habit and conditioning. So the text by Shantideva, the Bodhicharyavatara, has a very important verse where he says that there is not a single thing which does not become easier with habituation. So everything that all these practices will get easier and we'll get better at them as we continue to sit day in and day out, day by day. We'll become more aware of our posture and if there's any fault in our way of sitting and breathing and all those things, and then we'll be able to gradually improve and remove those flaws. This is the way that has to be done.
이제는 다 당당 건수 신이 공기 냠는데 냠내버도 주가가 다 된주가가 다 뒤로 인스트럭션으로 와. 돼. 다다 빼는 건수 빼져 주로.特别 장고라면 제를 보지. 까말라 곰리다. 이게 군주기다 다디 수요 크라서 냠용도 송교 꺄냐로 와. 디 냠유주 송바디 가란서라 디가 인스트럭션 람되노 차고로 가일랜스로 와. 차고래 디 냠용 디 건수 그 수수 인스트럭션이라고 수수 그 레네 take instruction 레네 아니 소디 소소란 게 제기 소소란 무슨디 랄렌타기 되게 차면은 소소로 아니 고도 세르서 냠용 야야 토부다 소디 소소란 게 랄렌타베 걸 무슨 냠린 제외 갈라 아니 소소도 냠용 가서 가서 more awareness understanding and more 딜러 흘러다 experience 소디 랄렌 무스타디고 아니 하고 랄렌마다 누르러봐다 삼는 레바 누르 채와다 무슨 랄렌타원이 지니버를 해 개버도가
All these instructions for meditating on serenity, these are they were given from the experience of J. Rinpoche, Tsongkhapa, as well as the past masters like Kamalashila and Asanga and so forth. So for them, this was their experience. And for us, it becomes our instructions, right? The instructions for our practice. So as we actually go to implement these instructions and do the practice, then we'll continually gain more and more experience as we do it. So this is really only going to happen if you attempt to practice it. So there's a big difference from just hearing an explanation and just hearing and thinking about it versus actually going to apply the instructions and attempt the practice. And when you really bring it into your own practice, then you'll have new experiences and your understanding will increase. And you'll get familiar with these things they've talked about.
초콜릿이와 지리나 초콜릿 스위트인데 미신다지 사 슈거가 아무 티셔도 돼. 초콜릿과 치료 티셔도 스위트 초콜릿 티셔가 아무 티셔이 통화되다. 아무 되는 아무를 장기로다. 아무 이거 하고 그라. 아무 하고 딩 아무 되다. 미신다지 산이 결혼 소소라. 어디 아무 슈드 라고라. 레 아무 열이 대발 아무 믿으라고 말. 디니즈 코바 되다. 소소 디카지 소소 오서 산이 So
there's a proverb, which I guess I'll explain the proverb, to just say it, but so if there's a piece of chocolate, some candy, some sweets, but to say a piece of chocolate, and yes, the wrapper says chocolate on it, and someone else eats it and says, oh, this is sweet, then there's, you see that it says it's chocolate, or they say that it's sweet, but there's a big difference with that, and then the difference between that and actually then eating the chocolate yourself. So it's similar to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 이제 딱 한다. 신이기 빵자소 challenge 돌린소 가는 운시시기다. 신이 운시 공백을 신이 운수 공백을 가지 그 태가 가지 반지 소디 가디 가르스는 디레 가자. 무시 좀에 가도 쏘다 띵이지 쏘 가서 전바다 시신이더라 저 하고라 냐면 쏘 전바다 시신이 냐면 들었다 전바다 시신이 냐면 뒤도네 세지고 미바야고 이거 전바 시신 야 빌드업 치고 빌드업 대라 바제 갈게 바제 카레 미디쇼 카레 칭와도 고반이들 하고라 미고 쇼도래 고바들에 무시기다 신의 공배가 무시기다 냠레디 전바다 시신 아니 가게 미딘쇼 무기 미딘쇼디 칭와도 고반이들에 무시디 다야 신의 공을 되 원조더라 원조 가게 바제데 아니 레로다 담가 미바 제바다 들이 망고여라 봐 원들이 시다들이 여다 여래 또 원디기들에 또 디르다 간다
Well, when we're doing the actual meditation, during the actual meditation of serenity or single point of concentration, the main, complement, or the main practice itself is to practice mindfulness and introspection. And with those two, then we'll have a stable single point of concentration. And during the actual meditation of serenity, the main obstacles, the sort of opposing or opposite factors, are laxity and excitement. And so those are what will obstruct our serenity. So then in the preparation leading up to our meditation, then there are other different obstacles that are talked about, and we'll come to those in the text, things like laziness and forgetting the instructions and things like that. But there are several others that we'll get to. But during the actual meditation session, it's the main things to rely on are mindfulness and introspection.
and then 칭와도 고바스도와 돼 칭와디 가래 뉴모레 고바디 뉴모레 그라 하고 오라 뉴모르다 뉴모라 사회 뉴모다 년년세로 그라 하고 오라 라 primary 가세 afflicting emotion and secondary afflicting emotion 라테 칭와도 고바니디 뉴모레
So these two of laxity and excitement, laxity is an affliction, excitement, that also is an affliction. And when we look through the collection of mind and mental factors, and then there's the primary afflictions and secondary afflictions. So those are both secondary afflictions.
신의 톱디고라 신의 토바이나 빵자 쪼가래 칭와도 고바니들이 신의 남 토바나 친구니의 제심바래
So
빵심바래 뉴모 셴을 빵요 말다 뉴모 셴의 장요 말에 뉴모 나로 뉴모 망부요라 장가서 뉴모 망부요라니 칭와 고바니들 트레심바래
So then the main practice of the practice to achieve serenity is the abandonment of laxity and excitement. And at the moment you achieve serenity, that moment is when you have abandoned laxity and excitement. Now, it doesn't mean you abandon all afflictions. There are many others as well, but you've abandoned those two, laxity and excitement.
진짜 뉴모 림기 빵고라 뉴모레 동아레 차와라 동아 림기 채워라 돼 말에 동아 탐지 직자도 빵토 impossible 이라고라 디나싱 뉴모 빵디고라 뉴모 림기 빵고라 말에 림바시도 빵고라 마도 뉴모 뎁실 빵토 요마 impossible 라
So you have to abandon and remove the afflictions gradually in stages. So it's not possible to just abandon all afflictions at once. So there's something that you can abandon gradually.
piece by piece, part by part. 신동 침보시 뚜고네 뎁제 뚜고다 piece by piece 뚜고다 되나 시래.
So it's like if you have to cut down a large tree, you don't just do it with one swipe, but you have to, work at it piece by piece, little by little.
Yeah. Okay, so I think today is enough. So I hope you all I hope you all would get clear understanding clearly. I hope. Yeah. So
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's stop today, right, class?
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Stella.
Thank you, Tujishe, Sangmala. Happy Losa to you
Happy
all.
Losa.
Tibetan New Year celebrate till 15 Tibetan calendar. Very long, 2 weeks. More than like such tradition, you know. Usually other tradition, right? New Year 1, 2 day or maximum 3 day, right? Tibetan from first day calendar, Tibetan lunar calendar, first year till 15. Always say, oh, New Year, New Year, New Year. Yeah, thank you.